let's go ahead and get the board rolling.
Right.
Let me get the right square set up.
What's up, Brad? Welcome in. Happy to have you on this wonderful day of Sunday Bingus.
All right, and we can get the match started. Stocko, what do you want to see for center square? You got 5 seconds.
Center square, I want to see both a duo. Let's just have it. Let's just get it out in the open. It's a great square. It's intimidating, but really it's not so bad, and it gives a lot of runes in the beginning. It's a K-Lid boss. It's a duo boss. It's got synergies. Not so lucky.
And what we see is 10 sorceries. Kind of a weird square, actually, to have center square, because it's relatively quick. You know, we don't see players go for it super often, though, because it's a collection square and it's also a rune dump. So that's going to be a very interesting center square to see how our players go about this. There also is a decent amount of early rush squares. We have Boss on Torrent. We have Margit parries. We have a Gil +0. Granted, we almost never see it, but you could rush Soldier of Godric Barefist only. 8 Talismans. And then we also, Hero of Zamor. Drake Talismans. That has a lot of synergy, obviously, with Talismans. And then that bottom line is something that you would probably want to get a square on, because Radahn's Great Rune and Goldfree are 2 very late game squares. We also see Stocko's favorite square, Remembrance Boss Bow only.
That's correct.
So to me, I think you want to get... I think Talismans plus Drakes is big here, potentially.
Yeah, that's something to keep your eye on.
And Rune Bear. Sorry, I just saw that one. Rune Bear giving you an early Drake Talisman and a Talisman. Rune Bear actually might even be the rush.
Interesting.
And we see a starting class here with a decent starting stat spread, Iron Balls, and the Lordsorn's Greatsword.
Yeah, a lot of balls in starting classes lately, which, you know, I mean, as a player, you can get excited about. Very low stats to wield, something to go right off. I mean, we've been proven time and time again that smithing stones don't count. Smithing weapons, please don't count them out. They're very powerful now with the 3 stones per upgrade.
Yeah, and especially early game, and especially with the Smithing Stone Miner's Bell bearing +1 and 2. Like, you can start with your Iron Balls. It's actually really easy to pick up, like Smithing 1s and Smithing 2s. You can get those things up to +6 really quick. And then you're going to have a little bit lower damage output for the mid game. But then the second you get to Altus, you can go ahead and get that Smithing Stone Bell bearing 2 and then get them up to +12. And +12 Iron Balls are going to be one of the best weapons you can reasonably get in a bingo match.
100%. I actually spoke to Helios this morning, and I asked him, are you a Somber man or are you a Smithing man? Of course, it depends on the board, but he said all in all, he's interested in trying new weapons. He's tired of these same old somber weapons. You know, he wants to do something new. He wants some excitement in his bingo matches. So we're probably going to see him do some sort of smithing play, especially now that we have the 12 or the bell bearings on the board. So you can expect to see that, possibly from both players. I didn't get to speak to Moody today about how he feels about smithing weapons, but I think he can get on board, especially if he's a Makar man himself, which has a lot of synergy with smithing stones.
Moody is the Makar man. And another thing, if you are a fan of Makar, one play that I like is you go get the Smithing Stone Bell bearing 1, you do the Railucaria tunnel, and then you do Precipice. That gives your 2 tunnels or Precipice dungeons, and then you just run to Altus and go pick up the Smithing Stone Bell bearing 3.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, so, you know, you have center square with 10 sorceries. Are we going to see players kind of rush that in a way where they do a square that gives them a lot of runes? Then they have expendable runes. They can spend it on levels, and yet they can also spend it on sorceries.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where this early game rush goes. Do you go for the Torrent, Boss on Torrent, which is the fastest square, like probably the fastest square available, and it's on a diagonal, or do you go for Rune Bear because you also get Talismans, it sets you up for Drakes? I'm going to be interested to see what these players do out of the early game.
Yeah, I mean, how much value, other than the Rune Bear, is there in Weeping? I think we have Ancient Hero of Zamor down on column 2, row 5.
So Physic Tears, you know, Limgrave bosses. There's not exceptional value, but there's definitely some value there.
Definitely. I don't even know if there's as much value as there was last game with the Estacco versus Burton. And you said you were a little surprised to see Burton rush Weeping. So this may be a situation where one of the players, sets up, gets a grace down there, possibly third church, and then makes their way over there after they get some of these earlier squares.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the fast weeping. It just, it depends on what's on the board. Like, with Runebear being so valuable, I think that's totally a rush. But the biggest thing I always say is, like, it's not just about, like, making the fights easier on yourself. Like, getting an upgraded weapon makes the fight so much faster. And weeping's already a time sink. Like, are you really gonna turn Ancient Heroes of More from a 30-second fight to a minute and 30-second fight? Like, is your time better served delaying that square in order to go get your weapon set up and make that fight faster?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. He's not that strong. Like, he is a bit of a squishy boss. As long as you know his moves, there's huge punishing windows, so you could get away with it with a very low upgraded weapon. And the question is, are you going to make up that 30 seconds or whatever it is?
Yeah, because it adds up in bingo. At the end of the day, like, one or two snipes can decide a game, and that's a matter of seconds more often than not.
That's true. Yeah, so both players grabbing the Geel Lake North Grace, so they're looking for some sort of speedy access, possibly down south towards Weeping.
Yeah, that it has become increasingly more popular. Very rarely at this point do we see people go for Great Front. Almost everyone seems to be going for a Geel Lake North, and we do see Helios rushing. Is he going for a Geel on Torrent?
Oh, synergy play. Huge fan
Very
of that.
greedy synergy play, but if Moody does Pumpkinhead, Moody's definitely going to get the better of this exchange. He gets the better square, the faster square. So we'll see what happens. We'll go full screen with Helios until Moody steps into that fight.
Okay. Wow, interesting.
Oh, he's not going for Torrent only. So he is just doing a Geel +0.
So it'll be a fair exchange because it looks like Moody's making his way over to Pumpkinhead, which is I'm glad to see. There's not going to be a snipe here. They're both going to get their squares 1-1.
Try, I guess. Also get tapped.
Oh, he survived was on 1 HP.
Wow, ran right into the flames. Bold.
And he's just quitting out. That was horrible RNG.
Great start. Great start, guys.
Yep, Geel rolling.
We'll go big screen with Moody now here as he takes out the Pumpkinhead. Also, one thing this does set Pumpkinhead sets Moody up potentially for that center square because Selen be selling a lot of sorceries.
Nice. Absolutely, she does. And I was wondering if there was going to be some sort of synergy with that, and Moody spotted that immediately, just going for Pumpkinhead. Brilliant. It's simple, but it's going to help him a lot getting that early setup.
Yeah, Moody definitely getting the better of this early exchange, I would say. And we'll go back with Helios now as he tries to take out a Geel. We see him utilizing Lord Sworn against a Geel just for the extra range. It's very helpful.
Yeah, it's a great choice. I mean, you got to choose between the balls and the great sword. You're going to want to go great sword, especially for this fight.
That might be the strangest riposte I've ever seen. Actually, Moody looks like he's going to a Geel as well. This could be a very minor snipe.
Bit of a greed on Moody's part, but we're not going to fault him too bad for that.
Surprised that didn't stagger.
You want to play aggressive. I mean, I can appreciate Moody's eagerness to get squares.
Okay, so Helios will take out a Geel here. Very nicely done. And let's see what Moody does. If he should immediately pivot, I would say. He has the stagger. He has a chance to run away, and he does so.
Good. He's got his eyes on the board at all times. Common mistake where players just get too focused on the fight, and they'll actually get sniped on it, and they won't notice, and they're just bleeding time.
Doing a little pirouette there. Meanwhile, we see Helios going for tunnels early.
Smart. A lot of synergy with tunnels. We've got smithing stone bell bearings. We've got what else did I see on there? Limgrave bosses.
Yeah, I think I would love to see Moody go Rune Bear here, but he
Alice.
does not. Probably looking at Margit parries potentially. Rune Bear is not the easiest fight. In a practice match I had against Helios, I pretty much threw the game off the start with a Rune Bear incident. So
yeah,
it's not ideal. But
and if you take a look at Helios's vigor, that looks like a Rune Bear incident to me.
Yeah. And it is the sword of Milos. Milos enjoyers rise up.
Let's see some Milos enjoyers in the chat. I know we got a few haters. Let's shut them down. Milos for the win.
Also, we see Helios picking up all these smithing stone ones in this tunnel, which is even more valuable now because of the reduced upgrade cost. I believe he will be able to get 9 smithing stones in this tunnel and just get a +3 Iron Balls or Lord Sworn.
Yeah, which would be huge in the early game here.
All right, we'll go back big screen with Helios now as he fights the Stone Digger troll.
Okay.
Possibly the squishiest boss in Elden Ring. Yeah, I mean, he feels almost easier than Bofo because you just stagger him 2 times. 2 hits to the leg and he's down on the ground. Headshots, riposte, he's dead.
Oh, not quite.
Not
He's
quite.
trying to prove you wrong, Stocko.
No.
His ambitions were futile there.
Yeah.
Also, another thing about Stone Digger Troll is that we do see Helios getting a talisman from that.
Mm-hmm. Lots of synergies.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous early game synergies, actually. You need to be on your feet on this board, actually.
Meanwhile, if Moody goes for Margit parries, I do think the Weeping play is even more valuable now for Helios because of not only Rune Bear, but he can get the block on column 2 with Ancient Hero of Zamor.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna, he can make his way towards Weeping while also grabbing a few, or at least one other Drake talisman, which just adds to the talisman synergies and the Drake talisman. I think Weeping is the play. Let's see if Moody kind of pivots and goes south. He does not.
Yeah, I think Moody is seeming fairly committed to these Margit parries, which is good because Helios is, well, I would think Helios is going for Rune Bear. It looks like he's going to Celia. He might even do early Falling Star Beast just to secure the tunnel square.
Oh, wow. You think he's going to go right for Falling Star Beast, huh?
He very well could. Wouldn't necessarily surprise me either way here.
Looks like Moody was not happy with his shield pickup. He's probably tentative about doing this Margit parries with a medium shield. I think it's a bit of a bait square, especially what's still on the board here. So he's just going to rush Liurnia.
Helios goes for the skip, gets the first jump, which is the hardest part, then fails the second. And there he goes. Yeah, I think Moody's going to go for Stormwall here. Just put Stormwall, save yourself, the medium shield woes, and just put Stormwall on that thing.
Yeah, I stand corrected. He's going for Stormwall.
All right, Helios here is now going to be walking into the Falling Star Beast fight, so we'll go big screen with him. The nice thing for Helios is that if he does find a good Sombra weapon, this will set him up for a +6 Sombra for the rest of the game.
As soon as I start a boss fight, I'm going big.
Let's see how he fares. Balls against Falling Star Beast.
Balls against Beast.
Balls against Beast.
Gets tagged immediately.
Not worth. Not worth.
Yeah, the balls are tricky against this guy. He's deceptively tall and hard to hit.
Yeah,
But they do.
to
Yeah, the damage and poise damage is fantastic, though.
Oh, there is a
He
tower.
didn't run down and got the grace, right? He just went right from the chest to the beast.
No, he just fully sent it to the beast.
Definitely getting the tower with Sully though.
So on the off chance that he does die here, he'll be stuck with a longer loading screen, and he'll spawn back in next to where the chest teleports you.
And
for
although
some
it
reason
probably
that
is slightly slower, you can pick up the rock grease if you go down. I think the net would be that this is faster, but definitely safer. And we're going to have dual boss fights on your screen as Moody stepping in for Margit parries. Moody misses the first parry. Meanwhile, Helios gets a nice stagger. All right, that is 2 parries from Moody.
Ooh. Taking a hard hit from the delayed slam from Margit.
There's 4. And Helios has almost wrapped up this falling star base. It really is taking longer than I anticipated.
Yeah, those plus zeros, plus the few whiffs you have in there. Those headshots really matter too on falling star beast.
Moody just needs one more parry here. Seems to be eluding him. And Helios gets it. Congratulations to Helios. We'll go full screen with Moody.
Nicely done.
6.
There's the final parry from
Tunnels
Moody.
and precipice. Not what I expected.
Beautiful. That increased parry speed generation within the new update to Elden Ring a couple months ago, or at least a month ago now.
Yeah, with the DLC.
DLC update.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins.
Should probably heal.
All Moody has to do is finish this fight up. He's got a few flasks left. It looks like maybe just one, actually. No, one more.
Yeah, he needs to make sure he's keeping up poise damage to speed up this fight.
Yes. Can I get a stagger? Thank you. Alright, now be careful now.
Just one more stagger and some change should do it here for Moody. He's in a tricky spot though, because you need to keep the poise damage up for the stagger, but you also need to be, you can't really trade at this point.
No, at this point you've got to pretty much go hitless. You can take a
There
few
we
hits,
go.
but
Oh,
that's what you
let's
like to
try.
see.
And
Moody
congratulations
bucking up.
to Moody. Now see at 1-1, Helios getting the Spelldrake Talisman +1 in Celia.
Now let's see if Helios also goes for the sorcery pickup. I believe it's Night Comet in Town of Celia that you could also pick up after opening the doors in Celia.
Mm-hmm.
Would just make, having him buy less sorceries.
Oh, and unfortunately he's trapped. He forgot to rest at a grace. So he's still trapped from the Falling Star Beast chest. It's no big deal. He's just going to sit here and he will be interrupted by Melina.
Cool. Let's see if he decides to go to Round Table. I assume he will deny her.
Yeah, I would think so too. Yeah.
He's got the weapons he needs. He doesn't need to go.
Yeah, Melina, the antagonist of speed.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, are we going to see a Rune Bear race here? It looks like we very well might.
Oh, wow. It's possible that Helios stops and grabs the Drake Talisman on the way, which would give Moody a huge head start.
Yeah, I would at least grab the Grace nearby, which would give Moody a slight head start, but that's, talking a few seconds. If he does go grab the Drake Talisman, that would give Moody a clear lead, barring incident.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Moody taking a detour. Oh, no.
Just taking a slightly different route. And we do see Helios stop and grab the Grace, but not stop for the Talisman. So Moody will have about a 5-second lead probably going into this fight, but execution and RNG will more than make up for that.
Yeah, not a lot of room for mistakes. It's still definitely a race.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say he has one try. He has to get it first try if he doesn't want to be stumped.
I mean, if Moody just gets hit one time and has the heal, there's the time difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, welcome in Martian.
So this is a very pivotal square in the early on.
Yeah, it certainly is. It'll take a less value away from the Halleck Drake Weeping synergies.
Oh,
that
and we
Helios...
do see Helios detouring slightly to the demi-human ruins
interesting.
to grab something.
What
I
could he
actually
possibly
don't know
want?
what. I actually don't know what's down here. I've literally
didn't
never
notice
seen this
this
before in my life.
Wow, we're all gonna learn something new here. Huh?
And it is
Elden
the
Ring.
coil shield. Fair enough.
Small shield pickup. Interesting.
I'm surprised he went for that, considering Market parries is off the board. Sometimes we see players parry. Oh, parry Zamora. Okay. I was gonna say parry Godskin Noble's common, but Noble's not there. So Moody's gonna have one shot at this uncontested for sure. So let's go big screen with Moody.
All right. Let's go. There.
Choosing to use iron balls. That stance break, but you will have that lesser range. There we see a whiff.
Oh. Hitboxes.
That
Ow.
rush attack is so difficult.
And just god awful.
What?
Oh.
Getting
nice
bad.
deal.
Wow, Moody's getting the rush a lot. A lot.
Can I get a stagger off him? Can I please get a stagger? There it is. I don't know how quickly he unstaggers.
Very nice, but
I wasn't actually supposed to get that other R1, but we'll take it.
Completely uncontested too. I hope he can just, focus in and not have to worry about being sniped, although he doesn't know that. He's probably always considering, Helios is a fast player. I've got to get these squares and I got to get them now.
Yeah, and it looks like Helios was
that's quicker than last
prioritizing
time.
Hero of Zamor. Because the other two squares on that line are tree bosses.
Again, I wasn't supposed to get
which
the
can
R1,
take a
but
minute, and then obviously
we'll
Sewer
take
Rogue
it.
is not something that you want to have to bank on for a block.
Yeah.
Alright, dodge it that time. At least they traded on that one.
Moody gets another stagger here, and that should more or less do it. And there
Rune
we go,
dead,
GG's to
done.
Moody.
Nicely done, dude. Now, I think Helios, in that time, did the other small check in by the Church of Pilgrimage, I want to say, or the fourth church in Weeping, and I think he lucked out once again by getting some sort of useless small shield, because as we all know, coil shield does not parry, so it does inflict pretty deadly poison.
Now, the one thing is here, I think Helios has yet to pick up the Stone Sword key at Stormhill Shack. So if Moody does rush Zamor, even though Helios is going to have the lead in terms of he has a Grace much closer, he is going to have to go pick up the Stone Sword key. So if Moody decides to race this, it will be close. Granted, I'd still give the edge to Helios in this.
Yeah, let's see what Moody does. Does he just go from boss to boss? I mean, that would be pretty boss of him. He just rushes it, blitzes it out, and basically snipes it.
Like I said, though, I still think Helios will be ahead.
Oh, grabbing this key.
Yeah, because he even has the Grace right next to the Everjail.
Okay.
So Helios will have a clear lead on this. Likely one chance uncontested, unless he just gets horrible RNG, because Moody does seem to be about 15 seconds behind or so.
Yeah, I mean, it seems
And
like
this guy drops a talisman, the Scar Seal talisman, which is pretty useful if you don't have the Sword Seal. We'll go full. Actually, we'll just keep it dual screen here.
Keep it dual
Helios
screen. Let's see what
choosing
folks
to use the
have.
Blood Grease as well. Moody, meanwhile, getting trolled by the worm. Helios gets that nice stagger.
Both players still rocking the +1. No upgrades yet.
Moody gets the stagger back. Now, the one advantage in Moody's favor is he has more health, so he can be he can't trade more. And Helios dies. We'll go full
No.
screen with Moody here as he has this uncontested. This could be a massive opportunity for Moody.
Huge opportunity. No one saw that coming.
Phase 2.
No wonder Helios wanted to have the parries to secure that square, but unfortunately he didn't find what he was looking for.
This would be a massive, massive snipe
can't
for
get in
Moody.
there.
Because it would force Helios to either do tree bosses or sewer mode.
Wait, hang on a second.
Wow.
I have an idea.
Yeah, I mean, for Moody, the more snipes and the more he can get into Helios' head, the better his offense.
Moody has an idea, but his idea might be is slowing him down.
Wait, am I not hiding?
Door?
Moody, now's not the time for ideas, my friend.
What are we doing?
No, it doesn't. Okay. It was worth it.
Helios is catching back up. We'll go back dual screen.
Helios deciding to use the Lord
Yeah,
Stone
this
Blade
is
for-
near even.
Wow.
And Moody dies.
Oh. Tragic. You hate to see that.
Moody's
Could've been possible.
cheeky idea may have very well cost him that square.
Yeah, I would say butt cheeky. It was a bad idea.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to just, Bingo's a strategic game, but sometimes you need to no think just Bimgus.
Yeah. Yep.
And Helios secures the square. Wow. And Moody sees the snipe and immediately runs away. Yeah, that was, I think Moody had that if he just kept with the balls the entire time. I don't know why he decided to try something. That's not the time.
Unfortunately, I have his stream muted, so I didn't get to hear his thought process. We might have to ask that. I'll make a note of that.
Yeah, he said, I want to try something, and I think he was trying to see if Stamp would throw Ancient Hero of Zamor in the air.
Okay.
But it did not, and then he lost all his poise damage and lost a bunch of time. Helios doing a very nice Celius skip there. Meanwhile, it looks like Moody is going to go ahead and rush the Drake Talismans. Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Moody because that would have given him a fairly significant early advantage.
Definitely.
Mainly, not only because of square count, but mainly that would have been a massive threat on column 2. Tree bosses can take a minute, and you don't want to rely on sewer mode to block.
It's okay, though. Moody's going to come up with a new plan, maybe test some other ideas out. Although I will say, save the testing for practice matches,
Yeah.
Experiment all you want, but when you're in Bingus, league right now and it's live, you've got to just sort of do what you know.
Yeah. I believe you can look up some Allen Iverson quotes if you want to hear about what you should do in a game versus practice. We do see Helios has to be close to 8 talismans at this point.
I'd say he's at least halfway.
He has the Roar Medallion for sure. He has the Scar Seal. He has... That might just be it. He has the Spelldrake +2. And I believe that's it. Or sorry, he has... Now he's about to get the Soar Seal, which will be 4.
Yep.
He would need the 3 other Drake Talismans. Meanwhile, Moody right now on 2 Drake Talismans, about to get to the 3rd. So as long as Moody hard commits to Drake Talismans, he will get the snipe.
Another great choice by Moody. It could be a really great snipe for him. Just because, even though Helios is kind of half working towards this, I feel like this was part of his game plan.
Mm-hmm. And it does set up another potential line for Moody on column 3.
That's right.
Also, the other thing to keep the eye on is Limgrave bosses. Currently, I believe it is still 3-3. We'll go full
There's
screen
so
with
much early
Moody.
game stuff. There'll be a bit of a slow patch while we both go to Altus. Remember, it's boss bow only. Maybe I need to keep that in mind too. Oh my god.
Iron balls,
balls, dude.
light work, making light work of these things.
All right, so that will be
All right.
Moody's 4th Limgrave boss, as well as
Three
his
Drakes.
3rd Drake Talisman.
3.
Oh, and Moody does not have to go to Celia. He can just go get the Bolt Drake from right behind Margit.
Nice. I think that's a huge time save.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this should be Moody Square. I haven't been keeping track of how many Physic Flask tiers the players have, but I assume they both picked up the Faith one in Weeping.
I don't know if I don't believe Moody did.
Okay.
I'm almost positive Helios did, but I'm not sure if Moody did.
Not that it's the most important square, but I believe we do have tree bosses on there, and we have the Erd Tree Avatar in Weeping, who's also just a Limgrave boss. So, you know, if you think about it, there is a decent amount of value on that square.
Helios continues to be doing shield checks.
Can't get enough of the shields.
And it looks like he is going for sorceries, getting the Academy Scroll there.
Okay.
Gonna go to Selen. That could, and that could set up a pretty nice threat in the top left to bottom right diagonal for Helios. Considering Goldfree is one of those squares.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm curious for Moody what his next play is. Does he go to try to finish off Talismans? Does he go to try to finish off Limgrave bosses?
Or does he start making progress on Liurnia bosses? I think currently neither player has access to Liurnia.
All right, we'll go full screen with Helios here as he fights the Pumpkinhead.
I have a fairy shield. Yeah, let's just tagger him now.
And draw. Hope you're enjoying the current bingo. We'll be seeing
All right,
you
so
later.
for Helios, what's the official count now on Limgrave bosses?
Let's see here.
That would be Pumpkinhead, Agil, Zamor. Is that it? Just 3?
More.
This is for, which one am I
hasn't
missing?
killed Margit yet.
I know Moody's at 4. And we do see Moody going to just finish up Talismans. Granted, he still has quite a few to get. Another reason why that Hero of Zamor would have been really huge, because it's an extra talisman.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking he only has 3. Nice. Helios is picking up that sorcery in Celia.
Yeah, off the top of my head, that's only 3 for Helios, but our refs will be on top of that to confirm the count. Oh, and the Stone Digger Troll. Yep, that was the one that we missed. So it is 4-4.
Thank you, Browns.
Moody, hot friend. Gonna be killing innocent Alexander over here. And also, Helios is only 1 sorcery away from claiming center square.
Wow.
Very fast sorcery pickups.
I guess he had enough money, and with the spare pickups that he did, he was able to scrape by.
Yep.
10.
Bye-bye, Alexander. See you later. And there is center square for Helios, 4-4 game.
Ooh.
We could see a rush for talismans here now.
Yeah, let's see how Moody reacts to that. Horned Warrior's Greatsword, I believe I saw. Kind of a slept-on weapon, but
Is that weapon somber?
Yes, the Greatsword is. I'm not sure about just the regular curved sword version, but the Greatsword is somber, and the Ash of War is very similar to Thunderstorm, the Stormhawk Axe Ash of War, except it's a windstorm, and it has a huge stagger effect with even a knockback effect on smaller enemies, which can be very helpful.
And also Helios picking up, which is something I've never considered before, getting the Flock Canvas talisman in Celia Crystal Tunnel.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, that's slept on for sure. Forgot that he was even there.
All right, so I believe Moody's on 6 talismans while Helios is on 5. Moody is definitely on 6. He has the 4 Drakes, plus Lance Talisman and Shard of Alexander, or Warrior Jar Shard. Meanwhile, Helios will have 1 Drake, 2, the Sword Seal and the Scar Seal's 3, the Troll Talisman, or the War Medallion's 4, and then the one he just picked up, the Flux Canvas, is 5, and I believe that's the current count.
And snagging the sacrificial twig just now.
Yep.
He's at 6. Could be close. Now we
Yeah,
did
so
bring up
Helios just needs 1 more. He's going to have to get it fast. Because Moody, as long as he knows where this twig is going to get both of these very quickly as well.
Yeah, what does Helios go for at this point?
I mean, I think you have to. I think porting to round table is the best idea. To just buy the last one.
Yeah.
But is it fast enough? This is going to be very close between these two.
Wow. Talisman race, not something you see every match.
No, not at all.
Especially this close. So he does.
So he is going to go to round table to buy the last one. What will happen first? Can Moody get... Moody needs the twig. Moody needs to know exactly where this twig is, and he should get it.
Does he know the twig? See if he goes behind.
Okay.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
And there we go. Talisman's to Moody.
Nicely done by Moody.
He needs to mark it. He's counting. Okay, he does mark the square just in time.
Well done. Right before Helios has to spend money on his talisman. So
yeah,
Helios
very unfortunate there for Helios. He still goes and checks the shop, gets the ringed finger, which is a solid weapon. Nothing crazy, but it's a nice somber weapon, very usable, especially since Helios will have that +6 whenever he wants it, given that he's already killed the Falling Star Beast.
Did we see any other value in that shop? Was there anything impressing you or wowing you?
I mean, nothing really of note.
Okay.
Especially considering the quality of smithing weapons these players already have in the Lord's Horns Greatsword and the Iron Balls. I wasn't really paying attention to smithing weapons, so there might have been something decent.
Yeah.
The one thing is, though, Helios is going to have a lead on Altus because he already has 1/2 of Dectus. He has the Grace right next to Fort Height. Meanwhile, Moody's going to get the first half of Dectus, I believe, right now. However, he still will have to go to Celia.
That's fine. I'm glad to see that Moody's just going, not only is he getting the Grace, but he's just going to pick up the Dectus half. Because some players will just get the Grace and say, hey, that's good enough for me. But Moody decides, no, let me have it now, just so I can, don't have to worry. I don't have to come back to Limgrave for some reason.
Yeah, what I'm curious is, does Moody decide to continue to rush Altus, or does he look to continue to clean up Limgrave bosses?
That's right. Another early game square still on the board.
Because he could do, say, the Erdtree Avatar in Weeping. That's 1 plus Physic Tears plus a tree boss. Or, he could do Tree Sentinel. He could also end it with Soldier of Godric Fist only if he chose to do so. Should we see Helios going back to the first step as well? It looks like Helios is going to try to get Weeping bosses or Limgrave bosses himself. Moody has a 1 boss advantage, I believe.
Interestingly enough, Helios not going for Tree Sentinel. Making his way
south.
He did already have this Grace, so I'm curious to see where he's going to go.
Maybe doing the Twin Blade check for a Gil without status effects.
Or Grail.
Or Grail, sorry. Moody upgrading his balls to +2. And now I think he's going to go fight the Tree Sentinel. Let's see if Helios gets lucky here. He does not. Gargoyle's Twin Blade. Rather useless. All right, we'll go full screen with Moody here as he fights the Tree Sentinel.
Let's do a little halberd prediction. Those are fun. I'm gonna say Banished Knight +8 for some reason.
I don't know. I feel like we've been talking about it so much, and it just seems to be rearing its ugly head this season. Every match, it's either gonna be Spirit Glaive or Loeva's Warsickle, and you can take that to the bank.
You go for Shield Slam, I can tell.
I've seen a lot of that. Spirit Glaive would be a funny little meme. Let's see. Now I know you've tried to use that in a practice match, the Spirit Glaive. You know, some players have ranted about it, but I'm curious, what do you give it an official ranking?
What is the like break glass in case of emergency? Like that's what I would give it.
Yeah, fair. With Iron Balls and Smithing 12, I mean, you'd have to.
I just thought I could have.
Commit to that one.
I could have done Erdtree Avatar and Weeping. I didn't get the grace for it though.
Moody taking out the Tree Sentinel. That is his 5th Limgrave boss.
We still don't even know what he got.
We did not. He did pick it up. I heard the noise, but I did not see what weapon he received. And I don't think he did either.
Yeah, no one did.
He may just check his inventory later in the game and be like, how the hell did I get Dragon Halberd? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm curious if Moody goes for Rick Barefist only for his final Limgrave boss, or if he just wants to secure the square.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, here we are at the 38-minute mark, so the beginning, you know, early game is coming to an end. We're moving quickly into mid game, and then late game pretty much right after that.
Yeah,
what we have left here is some heavy hitting squares.
Yep. This is not a board that you really want to be behind out of the early game.
No, absolutely not. There's a lot riding on these on the next map here.
Goldfree, Sewer Moog, Remembrance Boss, Remembrance Boss Bow only. We'll go full screen with Moody, as well as Restorodon's Great Rune. Some synergy between those, but very late squares.
Oh yeah. Let's have more synergies with Physic Flask Tears, Worm Face, Tree Bosses, Tree Sentinel Duo Bosses. I mean, there's a lot to be done here. Overwhelming, some would say, to certain players.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice the Tree Sentinel Duo Bosses synergy.
Hitboxes.
Yeah, I honestly think regardless, both these players are going to end up doing 7 Limgrave bosses, just because of the synergies with like Tree Bosses, Duo Bosses, etc.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Perfectly timed stagger. He's about to do the annoying attack.
I have to say, we're putting an action-packed early game, and Moody right now in the lead.
Yeah, very high-paced match, and also it's so strange. Like, none of our players have really been into Liurnia at all, and we're 40 minutes in.
Yeah. Right now, do Tibia.
All right, it does look like Moody's gonna ignore the Rick Barefist only and just clean up this square with Tibia. We're gonna have double Boatman on the screen.
Nice.
I've got to say, a very, very nice early game here from Moody.
Absolutely. Playing it really well.
You know, in the Helios known for his speed, but in an early game rush, Moody seems to be coming out on top, and he honestly would be dominant if not for the Hero of Zamor.
Yeah.
Granted, you could say the same thing to Helios, because Helios got there first, but he unfortunately died. And actually, the Iron Balls are doing better than the Lord Sworn with Sacred Blade.
That's shocking.
Yeah, GG's to Moody, gets Limgrave bosses, and that is his first Tibia. We'll go with Helios to secure his thoughts as he finishes the square.
At least I got a Mariner out of this though. It's not nothing. It's definitely not nothing.
Yeah, based on what Helios was saying, it does look like he was trying to snipe Limgrave bosses, but just completely, got the rug pulled out from under him. And one thing that's interesting that we're seeing right now is Helios is playing very meta, right? Like, he's assuming that Moody's going to wait on some of these squares, like Limgrave bosses, like Talisons, because he has priority. And Helios's game plan so far has been, let Moody get a lead, get comfortable with the square, and then I'm just going to snipe it out from under him. But Moody's just rushing. He's just rushing those squares. Like, a lot of players you would see, like, okay, I won Drake Talismans, I can sit on 8 Talismans for a second. I've clearly done more Limgrave bosses, I can sit on Limgrave bosses for a second. But Moody's just all out rushing and saying, nope, I'm just going to claim these squares.
Hyper aggressive, and that's how you play against Helios, it looks like. This is like what a game is unfolding before our eyes. But right now, Moody's playing out of his mind, I have to say.
And also for Moody,
yeah.
So granted, Helios has been sniped, but Moody doesn't know that. It's been 12 minutes since Helios last marked a square. So you got to wonder what's going on in Moody's head.
Yeah, do we want to tune in and just see what he's thinking here? I mean, mid-game thoughts?
Yeah, we can check in with Moody just to see if he's talking and see maybe what he's thinking.
So I think it was a good call going to do 2 just then.
Both players very verbal. Let's see what they have to say.
I also need to consider which other tree bosses I'm going to do. There's a tree watchdog in Limgrave, of course, but what are the other 2 that I'm going to do? Tree set duo?
So he seems to be focusing. Oh, we'll go big string with Helios here. But Moody seems to be happy with his decision to go for 2 tree bosses and considering maybe more. So Moody might continue on with this early game rush.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got a lead on 3 bosses. He's got to finish that up. I think he's got to keep this play, this aggressive style. Just like, don't leave squares on the board. As we learned yesterday.
That's so risky. Ooh, he gets away with it, but going for Sacred Blade while staring down Elden Squares Jr. Would not recommend it. Would not recommend it.
But as I was saying, yesterday we saw a lack of respect for priority, and that paid off for Mr. Burt Brown over there. And so, maybe both of these players are keeping that in mind. I'm not sure if Moody saw exactly what happened, but, you can't have too much respect for priority. If you want to play aggressive, then you've got to play aggressive.
And Moody might also just be thinking here, like, I'm just going to, because of the difficulty of some of these late game squares and how they are capital dependent, whatnot, I'm just going to get as many early squares as I can and hope that I can make up the difference due to the length of the late game squares. And actually, Moody here opting to not get the Source Seal, somewhat rare.
Interesting choice.
But he probably does. I mean, we're 45 minutes in and he hasn't been into Liurnia yet. He probably feels the need to get his ass over there.
And as you say that, it looks like he's doing that
right now.
The question is now, this is pretty much the transition from early game, mid game to almost late game. Both players need to be considering upgrading weapons and getting access to Altus. This is the time. This is the time to do that.
And also, again, nothing of value from that merchant. We see the repeating crossbow and just the standard dagger. So the dry weapon board continues.
Yeah, I mean, dry, Iron Balls is pretty plain Jane, but in terms of...
in terms of Sombers, at least, yeah.
Sombers, yes. We may not see a somber game here. I'd be interested to see if one of the players picks up, on their way to deck, if they stop by EG. If they do pick up Hoarfrost Stomp, which is an excellent Ash of War to put on Iron Balls, because really you don't lose any Ash of War by replacing the Iron Balls Ash of War, and you just get Frost procs, which is huge.
Now,
I make up for the lack of upgrades as well.
I would expect Helios here to go the Somber route because he's killed Falling Star Beast and because he can get that +6.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So did we ever see what halberd Moody actually was able to pick up, if he even stayed long enough to get it?
I don't think we did, but I'm going to keep my eyes out on his inventory as he goes through it occasionally, just to see if I see something crazy in there.
Does look like Helios is also thinking physic tiers. Looks like he might be... He's going to boil prawn for the dex tier, most likely.
Interesting route.
Because he is currently at 6. So the dex tier, int tier, and then one more Erdtree avatar, that would win him the physic tier square.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the play to make.
Yeah, Helios actually has a pretty significant lead in the physic blast squares. Also because I think Moody poured it out too early from the Weeping Erdtree avatar to get the tiers.
I was going to say, I thought that he killed the tree, but I guess he didn't pick up the flasks.
Yeah, he definitely killed the tree, but there, if you don't know, there's a delay between the enemy felled and the items appearing. And when he checked his inventory, I only saw 3 physic tiers, and I believe he did pick up the charge attack tier, so that tells me that he did not get the 2 from Weeping.
Which
is unfortunate. It kind of works out for Moody though, because Helios has a lead on this square anyways. I wouldn't expect. I think if Moody goes for it, he would lose the square anyways. So even though it was a mistake, it might work out in Moody's favor.
What we will probably see is Moody still doing, Erdtree avatars just for the tree bosses.
Potentially, yeah.
Narrowly avoiding
the Revenant.
Will.
And yeah, we do see Helios now here rushing for this Erdtree avatar, and then he would only need 1 additional tier, most likely the int tier, to win the 10 physic tier square, which could put some pressure on Moody in terms of column 5. Because Helios wins physic tiers, he would be then ahead slightly on Liurnia bosses, and then the only 2 squares left on that board on that column are Wormface and Goldfree, which are not ideal.
Not ideal, but you tend to see Wormface as an easy block sometimes. I mean, it's kind of putting you in a corner, literally. But it's easy enough to be like, okay, I know what I have to do. I have to kill Wormface. Now that's easier said than done, but we do see it a lot as like a last resort block.
Yeah, and Iron Balls are not great against Wormface because if you do the Torrent tech, which is what a lot of players have been doing recently, you miss out on about 50% of damage from Iron Balls because you're only hitting him with 1 ball instead of 2. Also, he did get the Spirit Glaive.
My God. It really was the Spirit Glaive. Wow. Yes, I mean, it's just like the bingo guys are asking for one of these players to just use it in one of these matches, please. Somebody use it and lose the game because it's not good.
Please, someone use it and lose. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And actually, we do see Aggie committing to Lordsworn over the Iron Balls.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'd say surprising, not necessarily shocking, though. I wouldn't call it a misplay. I mean, there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
I would definitely be going with the Iron Balls, but that's just me.
I think so, too. It'll be nice, though. We're going to have 2 players using different weapons. We're going to see really which weapon's going to be more beneficial for the rest of this board.
Mm-hmm.
And potentially it's not too late for a somber pivot, but yet to find anything really useful.
I mean, right now, is it worth a somber pivot? Maybe not, right? I think both these players have, if not a +6, very close to a +6. Is it really worth going for a +4 at this time? Maybe, maybe not. And we do see Helios here fighting this Erdtree avatar. This will be the final 2 physic tiers, and I think his 2nd or 3rd tree boss.
And now also we should start counting his Liurnia losses because I believe this will be his 2nd.
2nd or 1st?
We did kill the... Oh, right. I guess this is only his 1st tree boss in Liurnia. Okay, yeah.
Nice repost.
First Liurnia boss. You know what we don't see often is the duo Crystallian boss in Liurnia at the end of the what is it, Terra Magica cave?
Yeah.
You know, we don't see that come into play often, but it is a duo boss and a Liurnia boss, so someone were to remember that and consider it. I don't think it's. I'm not sure how bad the cave is. It's been a while since I've been in there.
Not too bad. It's just a bit out of position, and it does require stone sword keys. And there we go. Helios getting the Earth Avatar down.
I didn't get the thing. I gotta go back.
He ported too early. He realizes
I
it,
didn't
but
wait for
he
the
ported
thing.
too early.
Oh.
Good thing
He's
he
gonna-
realizes it, so there will not be a miss mark, because that would be devastating to Helios's game. But yeah, he did not wait long enough.
He verbally acknowledged that. He did notice.
Yeah, and I think Helios losing the early game rush, which is pretty rare for him, has definitely put him under some pressure. Like, we see him, like, just right there, he went up to the wrong ledge for the strength tier. Not that big of a deal, right? Couple second time loss, but it's just inconsistencies over what we normally see in Helios's game, and he might be feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I definitely think it's safe to say that.
Also, if you're Moody, you have to be very concerned. Helios hasn't gotten a square in 20 minutes.
Yeah, my concern for Moody is, like you've said in the past, some players will just lose steam as the game heads into late game, and I am worried because I know Moody has an excellent early game, especially when it goes well for him like this. But I'm just hoping he can keep this up and keep applying that pressure.
Well, he is going to be the first player into Altus.
Oh.
And Helios actually looks like he's going for Soldier of Godric Barefist only.
Interesting. He did grab the strength tier.
And the Dex tier.
And the Dex tier. Will that give him a further bonus on damage?
I don't think so. I think it's more so just for insurance that he hits the 6 on the tap R2 instead of the 4.
Okay. I mean, it is possible that Barefists are a what do you call it? Where it's a strength and Dex combo.
I think Dex matters slightly, but don't quote me on that. I would be shocked though if he had enough to hit the plus to hit 8 damage, because the bare fists scale horribly.
Yeah. Has 8 damage been done? I mean, I guess if you have high enough strength.
I don't know what the cutoff point is, but I would have to imagine it's very high.
Okay.
So if you're Moody here, what's your first Altus play? Do you finish up Tibia Mariners? Do you go for Tree Sentinel Duo for a tree boss? Do you go ahead and just get your weapon to plus 12? Do you secure Worm Face for the block? There's a lot of questions that you can be asking if you're Moody. And
yeah,
also,
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I'm also a bit surprised to see, like, obviously it is a square, Soldier of Godric Barefist only, and a square is a square is a square, but it's purely majority. Both the column and rows that it is on are blocked. We'll go full screen with Helios here as he does, fist Rick.
I'm not sure. That is. Oh, Tree Sentinel Duo is also.
Yeah, along this
Yeah, I was like, where is that? I thought I saw it. This is a major misplay.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I would feel just awful going for this at a very crucial point in the game.
Yeah, and he actually just acknowledged the second that he entered, this is a misplay.
Wow.
His AI being off is actually annoying because I think he'll attack.
Disabled AI.
He's talking about some niche technical thing.
If I get Tree Sentinel Duo, I'm in a really good spot though.
Yeah, it doesn't. So, hearing Helios right now, it sounds like he is targeting Tree Scent Duo. The question is, does Moody get that square? What does Moody do first in terms of squares?
Yeah, does he finish off tree bosses and get the synergy, or does he do the worm face block? Hard call, but I think.
Or does he do the smithing stone block on the top left to bottom right diagonal?
Ooh, I think he does. He grabs this smithing bell bearing up here, upgrades his weapon, and then he starts killing things in Opus.
Yeah. And then that would also give him an additional Liurnia boss from that tunnel.
Yeah.
Dude, Rick's kind of destroying me. Just like Moody.
You see Helios getting that 6 damage. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's much, much faster. Obviously, 50% more damage when you're getting 6 instead of 4, but it's still not a fast square.
Like you said, not a valuable square at the moment. But it could help. It could come into play later and actually help Helios. I mean, we've seen him come back from some disastrous games where he finds a way to win. Helios does not give up easily.
So Helios does get Rick, tying us up 6-6 on squares, but Moody now has priority on a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I mean, Helios isn't even that close to Altus in the first place, just in terms of map position.
No.
And also you need to ask the question too, if you're in Moody's shoes, right? Obviously Moody was coming into this game a very, very live dog, but Helios, you know, I definitely, I'm not sure what the prediction said from chat, but just, yeah, it looks like Helios was a 55% favorite. You know, I would say Helios was definitely the favorite coming into this matchup, just in my opinion. And it is interesting to see, you know, we saw it from like the Rambler Durf. It's one thing to get an early lead when you're the underdog. It's another thing to close it out.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about, you know, the essence of clutch and the essence of focus. Does this player have what it takes to keep both of those things in check? But I really like the play from Moody of getting the Smithing Stone Bell Bearing first, getting priority on weapon and Altus, and then going for that that cave or the mine in Liurnia. I think that's a much better play than going.
I wonder if we see Moody go for. I mean, like Helios just did Soldier of Godric Barefist only, so Moody's gonna have a +12 Smithing Stone. He might be thinking, let's go do one of. Oh, also Smithing Stone Weapon +12 is a square as well as Smithing Stone Bell Bearing 1 and 2. I didn't even see that until just now.
Yeah, huge.
But Moody may be thinking, let's go either do Tree Scent Duo or Wormface and then go back and get the other Bell Bearing.
That's right. I think that would be the correct play.
I do as well, but Moody has been very like, I've started a square, let's finish it this entire game. However, now seems to be the time where he switches up his thinking. And I think the fact that Helios just did Soldier of Godric Barefist only is the tell for Moody.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely capitalizing on that fact.
Yeah. Now, Moody choosing to go defensive rather than offensive with Wormface instead of Tree Sentinel Duo, which I think you could argue either way which one's better. Just kind of depends on, are you a defensive player or are you an offensive player? Because Tree Sentinel Duo does help force the road 2 as well as give you other synergies, but Moody has a 1 square lead. With Wormface, it will be a 2 square lead, and he will secure, I believe, the final block on the board. Actually, no, not the final block. You still need to block the diagonal, except he has massive priority with the Smithing Stone Bell Bearings.
Yeah, he sure does. Yeah, and maybe he's thinking, you know, maybe Helios is cooking something up. He sees him going, you know, he's just going to go do Liurnia bosses, so he's like, let me block that now. Let me just shut that down.
I do not remember what the axe check was. I'm not sure if either player even did the axe check.
Yeah, because I don't think either player got access to Academy. There's literally nothing there.
Moody did.
Oh, he did. Okay, he did grab the.
Just gives him other options. You know, could potentially do like Red Wolf and Renala as a Liurnia boss and a second Great Rune to get into Capital for later, because I do think this game may very well come down to Capital with squares like Sewer Moog and Goldfree on the board. Plus, he didn't need EG, right? So it was like, just go get Academy Key. I think it ends up being slightly slower to get into Altus, but you do have Academy access.
Yeah, I don't think either boss has any remembrances dead at this time.
Moody
right?
Slightly lost trying to find Wormface?
Oh boy. He has to know that coming off the Great Bridge, it's a sharp right turn, and he's right there.
He's definitely lost.
Oh boy, you can easily get lost in these foggy, misted
Yeah.
woods.
I mean, everything looks the same. It's all covered in fog. All right. Okay.
Sometimes-
He now is going for worm face. We'll go full screen here with
I'm not
Moody.
gonna bother with those other weird
Oh
thingies.
wow! And now you see Helios picking up his second half of deck. See
Oh.
what I mean? Where it's like a
That's like
bummer
we
to have
nearly
to
did already.
travel back to Limgrave, get the thing.
I haven't
now
hit
you
it a
can have
single time.
access.
Moody, use the horse tech.
You want to full screen him?
Yeah, he is full screen.
Oh, he's like that streams are lagging.
Like, please just fucking hit. Wow.
Moody, stay on your horse. Damn it.
I actually wasn't full health to be fair, so I shouldn't be
Really
too
opting
surprised.
over the classic.
Alright, that was scuffed.
Off the horse.
The
Oh,
horse
he's a
tech
warrior.
is so safe. Like, I am a huge
So-
proponent of the horse tech. It
Yeah.
may be slightly slower, but is rock solid consistent.
It actually is. Ooh. I have been death blighted a few times on touring.
I mean,
just 'cause you
it's
missed-
warm face, so maybe not 100%, but you know.
11 pounds.
Damn right it does. I didn't think it was going to give me the riposte then. That'd have been annoying.
And also, we see Moody not choosing to take out the
I need to make sure I give myself enough
little
stamina.
tree warriors first.
Or
and
I
he gets
just
grabbed.
die again.
Okay. I don't
Alright,
like
I
the
need to
way
be
this
more
is going
careful.
for him, but
This
Yeah,
is just silly.
that is worm face.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, Moody, take out the little guys. Stay on your horsey. He's your friend.
I feel like because I have a plus 12, I'm invincible, and I'm not. I still have low vigor.
All right, we know what we say around here. 3 deaths is an incident.
Let's get out of here. We get death blight.
Yeah, you know, in our stats, we have a new stats channel coming to life here soon in the Discord, and I think something we should keep track of are incidents. Kind of an interesting stat. Incidents
Yeah,
on which
definitely would
bosses
be.
cause the most incidents. No.
Give me warm face without torrent at
Can
number
you grab
1.
me if I'm on the horse?
Yeah.
No, he
Yeah.
can't grab you if you're on the horse, Moody. Just stay on the horse.
Maybe just jumping off. I'm telling you, if Moody had the time, he could grab
The horse, it is slightly slower, but he would have been done by now. He would have been done, especially because he keeps missing.
for a
He
stagger.
gets the stagger. Problem is, Helios is now going to get 3 cent
This
duo, most
should-
likely.
No, not quite.
Another
Come
grab.
on!
He rolls too early and gets grabbed again. Officially an incident.
Sake. Why did that not go through his
That's what you
legs?
don't want to see.
Very weird death animation there. All right, and it looks like we're gonna probably have double boss fights on
That's
the
annoying.
screen, because Helios will be going for 3 cent duo.
I know I dodged too early. But I was supposed to go through his legs and not even need
Oh,
to
one
dodge.
face.
Like, me jumping was supposed to get me
Yeah,
far
it looks
enough
like
out of the
Moody's
way, but his
suffering
hands
from a
just
little bit
wouldn't
of
reach
low
me.
vig syndrome.
It's not. Just stay on your hold. Like the grab is very strong. Just for anyone at home, if you're fighting warm face, stay on your horse. He
He's safe.
will try to grab you over and over again. He can't because you're on a horse.
Yeah, and I will say the stray thing on Torrent is beautiful. Like you just stay
Yeah.
around him as long as you don't have those little guys stagger locking you, and another worm face grab.
Oh, why am I so bad at this? I've killed this,
This
dude
is
so many
unfortunate.
times by now.
Oh,
This
boy.
is unfortunate. Also, Helios not even getting the grace. We'll go big screen with Helios here. No, we'll keep it dual screen actually.
Ow,
double
the
boss
window is
fights.
open. And Moody is, or not Moody, sorry, Helios going with the Sword of Milos,
Mm-hmm.
making that somber pivot.
Yeah, this really hurts Moody's game because Moody could have potentially won both of these squares had he gotten warm face first try.
Yep. Oh my god.
So Helios is very confident about this because I don't think he did not get that grace right behind him.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess he always could at least grab it if he kills the first one and then go for the second one.
And there is sort of Milos rearing its ugly head with the horrible charge twos.
Yeah.
Moody gets a stagger and finishes it. Very well done,
nice.
Moody. Congratulations. We'll go big screen now with Helios.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, did he upgrade this thing to a +6?
I think only +4.
6.
The damage looks like +4 again, and I cannot
North face is
confirm
cool.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if that's +6. I honestly, I'd be disappointed. So I'm glad to hear it's just a +4.
That does mean he's not contesting this.
And Moody's going to finish up the bell bearings.
Gotta play cool and not die.
I think it's smart. Like, pivot off that nightmare and just get another square. Keep your lead.
That charge archer sucks, but also
I see this tech where healers will actually crouch after staggering tree sentinels, which there is no riposte on that, so I'm curious what that crouch move does for him.
That's a Xeno question.
remembering not to jump R2 is
You know, you're there, and you're willing to educate us.
Helios
I
is
know what-
cutting this close.
Wow.
I've lately been getting hit by torch tree sentinels a lot, which I don't think is a good sign. I guess torch hits are fine.
Nice
Nice stagger there, though. And he does get it with a bleed at the end. GG's to Helios. And this match is very, very close once again, because that match will give Helios priority on duo bosses and help him in the pursuit of tree bosses, which I think he now has a lead on as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's probably pretty close, but I think after he got the physic tiers and that tree boss there, he's definitely probably taking the lead.
The crouch makes you regen stamina faster, and also it takes you out of an animation if you're in one. So, for instance, I know one thing about it with the Uchi is it can help you do unsheath faster because the crouch can cancel like the end animation. But apparently, I heard a Domo and Starro Chris talking about it yesterday. But I think it is pretty difficult to pull off, at least in regards to with the Uchi.
Fascinating stuff. Yeah, Helios making use of that. Good for him.
And Helios going to finish duo bosses. Or not finish, but continue his pursuit of duo bosses.
And grabbing a foot on his way. Now, what could he possibly use that for? Do we have a dump stat on the board?
We do not, but it's there. Just a few extra runes, right? Never hurts. A little money never hurt nobody.
True.
What a match we have on our hands.
What a freaking match. Yeah. I would say the bingos on the board went very quickly to being no bingos on the board, and it's just instantly became a majority. Like both
Yeah,
players
I
were
mean,
just...
I wouldn't say that yet. There is still a threat from Moody on column 5 or column 4.
Oh yeah, and Helios. I shouldn't say that because Helios also has his diagonal.
Yep.
But Moody's
Well, the diagonal is going to be blocked in just a second here.
Yeah.
We'll keep it dual screen here as both of our players are in fights. Granted, they are relatively easy fights. As Aggie says, if either of our players were to die on these fights, they should just uninstall. Now we see one of Moody's maybe Achilles heels coming into play. He's not sure what to do next. He's overthinking.
What is the next play for Moody here? Does he try and do that column, or does he just play majority? Because he does have a 2-square lead.
I think tibias.
Interesting. tibias. He already has a head start on that.
It looks like
Getting
he's
that square.
going Radon. I mean, let's think about this. The problem is capital isn't quite enough yet, because Moody could be thinking Radon's Great Rune, Gold Free, and Sewer Moog. However, that only gets him 12. And actually, no, he's going for Kill Grail without side effects, so he is forcing that line. We'll go full screen with Moody.
Ow. No frost on the balls, by the way, which he is allowed to do for this square. As unintuitive as that sounds, you are allowed to use Daz effects on the children.
Yes. It's not...
Wait, why are these balls actually not good against this dragon?
I'd love for Moody to use that tech, like I said, for Frost Stomp.
Like, it's good at knocking him down, but it doesn't seem very
especially
strong.
with the plus well.
I feel like it should be doing more damage than it is.
This dragon...
That was close.
Yeah.
That was
This
really
is
close.
a big moment for Moody here, because if he gets a square, it fixes his vigor issues. He can get more strength. And he creates a massive threat. However,
Shut up, Leech.
it will take
Not
him
saying
quite
it.
a lot of time if he fails. This is a massive time sink. Very pivotal moment in the match for Moody.
Just because
At
you
this
think
late,
I say it weird, it
to
doesn't
say
mean I do,
it
okay?
quite bluntly, he cannot afford that. He has to do this deathless.
Yeah.
But imagine if he puts pressure on a square like Remembrance Boss Boat Holder, and Helios has to find himself doing that square.
Why? How the fuck did that kill me? Seriously.
There is the death. There is the death.
I missed it. I completely missed it. What move did the dragon kill him with?
He was starting to kill the third dragon on the initial turn. He got hit by either the tail or the wing.
Ugh. Yeah, there it is. I see it now.
Yeah.
Yep. If you're gonna die to a move, it's typically that one right there.
We'll go back with Moody.
Especially on something like this that's not quick. Wait, hang on. I'm not even using my axe talisman like a dummy.
Yeah, the one thing is for Moody, if he does do this, after this he can do a capital rush.
Why am
He
I not
needs
using
one more
axe
square,
talisman?
and then he can do the, like the Margit, or not the Margit, the Gold-free Moog Radon play, like I was saying earlier. But he needs to secure one more square, and do it quickly, because Helios is going to be catching up. Moody gets tagged again. Very lucky to survive, though.
Yeah, Helios, I think, is at four horse
Ow.
losses at this point. Or three,
Yeah.
sorry, 3 losses.
And also, this is like what we were talking about earlier, where it's like, Moody, you were the underdog coming into this match. I think that's fair to say. You got the early lead. Can you close it out? And this is where Moody needs to be clutch and just win this game.
Now, am I seeing things right? He has a little bit of red left because he
saying anything right now,
survived
it's
a hit from one of these things?
Yeah, he did survive a hit, but it was just the AoE on the stomp.
Okay.
He did not. He cannot tank a direct attack. Also, by the way, what you called earlier, Helios was going for the Academy, the Duo Crystallian Tunnel in Liurnia. However, he did not have Stone Sword keys, so he's going to go pivot and get those.
Oh, okay. Exciting. Brand new play that we have not seen yet. Another one down.
Also, another piece of tech here that Moody's not utilizing is changing it to night.
Shit, I don't have any throwables.
It makes it much harder for the
I need
dragons
to
to
track
see
the
you,
attention of this one, but not the other ones.
which helps with these two because they're right next to each other.
Oh, yeah, that is
Stop
helpful.
spinning and come over here.
Definitely going to implement that in my next map, if this ever comes up.
Yeah, by changing it to night, you reduce the enemy's aggro range, essentially. Moody gets the stagger there.
Why am I making people worried?
Nice headshots. Now, there was a small rumor going around that Ra was actually a huge hater of this square. And this is one
Oh
of the
yeah,
squares
Ra
that-
hates this square with all his guts.
I actually spoke to him today. He said he didn't mind it. He's more opposed to a square like. Let me just check my notes for a moment.
No!
Not another.
Why?
Oh, the tail swipe again.
Again.
Very unfortunate.
Also, I believe by going the other direction, like doing the dragon that he's doing first last, you
Mhm.
come at them head on, which does... You don't get the surprise hits. Oh, we'll go full screen with Helios here. But you do stop that tail swipe.
Yeah, you don't want to sneak up on those guys because that's all they do is just that tail swipe, and it is very deadly, as you can see. Yeah, as I was saying, Ra actually not favoring the Ancestor Spirit Square, which isn't a surprise, but apparently that's the latest. He is not a fan of that square, so it'll be interesting to see if he ever gets forced to do that.
I mean, how can you hate Ancestor Spirit with Light Guards? That's a bit strange.
He may be a strange guy.
And we'll check back in with Moody the second Helios finishes this fight. This matchup has been big screen all day, boss fight after boss fight.
Yeah, this is one of the best
I got
matches.
4 on these, so it shouldn't take too long. Playing Marks, I got
Alright, and there is duo bosses.
There it is.
And we'll go back with Moody. I believe that's Moody's
These last
second
two-
of 5.
Like, squares I've gone for might actually just lose me the game.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
we-
trust these dragons anymore.
we're starting to see self-doubt creep into Moody's mind, you know, with him saying that like his last 2 decisions might lose him the game here. I still think Moody's in a good spot, but it's his position, his win probability is getting worse by the second.
Yep. This has to be the one. For his mental fortitude and for the board itself.
Because the mental aspect is a big thing, right? Like even if you are like, even if you have a lead, if you're not playing well, that can really get into your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, don't turn around.
Yeah, and actually this is another thing. It's going because Moody could have had the Opaline bubble tier, but because he poured it out from that Erdtree Avatar too early in Weeping, he does not have it, which the bubble tier would have allowed him to survive 1 hit.
Yeah, that would be actually huge for this fight. Yeah. Okay. Mostly avoiding the tail whip.
Right, I have 2 of them off, you know.
He's double aggroed now, which is not great. This is tricky.
Yeah, what this means is you have to get rid of that first dragon as quickly as possible. Or try and bait him further ahead, which he's doing. Which is nice.
He gets a nice stagger. One more hit. Okay. Moody's managed to piss off 1 additional dragon somehow.
Wow.
You can't deal with 2 at the same time.
Quickly becoming a nightmare. Meanwhile, we have Helios checking Halberd. Gets the
Golden Halberd. I mean, good
And
weapon, but at this
possibly-
point, too late to pivot. However, you could use the Golden Vow Ash of War.
Ooh, interesting. And looking like he's going to go for the Knight's Cap here. The worst Knight's Cap.
Yeah, but that will be an additional Liurnia boss.
Yeah.
Alright, that's
Not
a
sure
good attack.
what the exact count
Brings
is
everyone
for Helios at the moment. J-May,
the
thank you
rest.
so much for the raid. We are in the middle of a very tense bingo match, but welcome in, Raiders. Appreciate you.
Post. He's going to finish him off. One more headshot. Beautifully done.
He just needs to hit Mama Grail now. He does not need to fight this dragon. All he needs to do is hit Mama Grail.
Oh boy. And he doesn't know that.
Helios
So
gets the
that's
Knight's
the
Cap.
weirdest dragon RNG I've like ever had, I swear.
Moody's scaring me with those wing
These
attacks.
ones,
Those
at
have sort of a delayed AoE hitbox. So you really have to be careful of those wings.
Yeah, for some reason
I've done this square a lot. And this is the weirdest it's ever felt.
Really putting in the extra work here. It would be really unfortunate if he died to this guy.
All right, Moody gets it.
Jesus.
We'll go full screen with Helios here as he takes out the tibia. Yeah, Moody killed an additional dragon that he didn't have to. You can leave one alive and just punch Mama Grail.
So this square is marked upon the art acquisition.
That's a Moody play right there.
Yeah. Heart/rune acquisition.
But also means I have time for both of these potentially.
Bingo's still on the board.
If I have time for both of these, I'm probably back in this.
What does Moody go for now?
Now this is where he doesn't want to just get stuck. Like, he's going to maybe start trying to do some of these earlier squares that are left on the board.
Yeah, he's going back to Liurnia. Looks like he's trying to do Liurnia bosses, but that's not going to end well for him.
This is what I was worried about. Like, he has the late game priority. He should just stick with that.
And how many Liurnia bosses is that now for Helios? So
Liurnia bosses.
he said 4. Let's confirm that. So he did the Knight's Cav, the Duo, Crystallians, the Tibia, and the Erd Tree. 4.
Sounds about right.
Meanwhile, I think
Really?
Moody has just done the Crystallian, correct?
Single Crystallian. Yeah, I guess he has done no trees.
Unless, actually, I think Moody here is going for... Yeah, okay, so he's actually going for the Tibia. However, this will be just a straight-up snipe.
Yeah, but once he sees the Tibia snipe by Helios, he'll know, okay, I don't have priority on Liurnia bosses. Let me just focus on endgame shit
Yeah.
stuff.
Also, what's going to be interesting here is, do we see a gamble from one of these players of killing their Godric early to get into capital faster, but basically forfeiting bow only?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that bow only comes into play here. I mean, it could be a very crucial square. As we can see, it's still on an open bingo line. So, you know, Moody goes for Radon, possibly getting the Remembrance bow from Radon, which would be fascinating. Unlikely, but fascinating.
And Helios is battling his way back in this match. This is pretty much going to be 50-50 at this point, because Helios is about to get Tibias, and he's very close to finishing Liurnia bosses.
With in-game squares to come.
It might come down to like guessing right about killing a Godric to get into capital faster versus, you know, preserving bow only.
I just top my health up at all times.
And even after that, it could come down to, you know, what do you do once you're in capital? Do you go for sewer mode? Do you go for gold free?
Yeah, it can come down to the 50-50 sewer mode, the gold free sewer mode 50-50 as well, right?
Yep.
This is an edge of your seat match.
This is a hell of a match, I have to say. Very impressed. Go to Milos, a poor weapon matchup against a Tibia, I will say. Still gets it.
And there's Tibia Mariners. We should see both players move. Let's see where Moody pivots to as well. And again, Jamie, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. And welcome in anyone. This is Elden Squares Bingo. Match day 2, Moody versus Helios in a very, very tight matchup.
Checking roundtable for possibly a bow? Ooh.
There is the Erdtree bow, which is somber, which is nice.
I think it does have some sort of faith requirement. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, but it's pretty low. For
Okay.
Helios, though, he picked up the faith here. Moody did not.
Wow, interesting. Now, it is a somber bow, so you can get it to +4. I will say that's not really enough to be efficient on that square.
There is
You're gonna
this
wanna-
spread crossball.
Oh, I do like that one, especially for proccing status. If he gets enough poison arrows, I was just going to say, poison arrows, you also get the rot bolts in roundtable. This could be huge.
The thing about dragons is I'll jump attack
Personally, though, I think I would go for Radon first.
Forgot that the R2 does that.
Yeah, and Helios just going for these dragons to finish up his Liurnia
Yeah,
boss.
it's
It's a
very
nice quick
deadly.
one to do. Especially if you're good at dragons.
Oh boy.
But they can make the fight drag on.
Nicely done.
Somber, I guess.
That's why you call him Radon right there. Puns like that. Ugh. Really kind of poor damage on the headshot.
But got it done with, I believe there was a
Dude, I
bleed at the
swear
end.
I'm
Yeah.
forgetting.
Yes,
Oh,
just
Moody not knowing that this is actually a somber bow and he's purchasing
is
smithing
it
stuff.
somber?
Yep, it is.
Unfortunate. And he can always go to the bow check downstairs.
Which he should do regardless for those free rot bolts.
Yeah.
Unless he's going to upgrade the crossbow, which he could do. Oh boy, he just dumped a lot of cash.
Yeah, is it, wait, I meant the crossbows. The crossbow somber smithing?
Oh, I want to say the crossbow is smithing. Maybe it is smithing.
Yeah, that's what I was
used it in
thinking he was looking at.
Okay, I hope he is.
See Helios, and it is smithing. We see
Okay,
Helios
great.
killing bulls for his final Limgrid boss, or Liurnia boss.
I make this shit look easy because he gave me
Very
like,
exciting
extra
stuff here.
RPG.
Does not get the rock bolts. That would change the speed of that square by so much.
He does have a plus 12 though. His damage should be decent.
Oh, so.
Does he
hopes
just
gave-
have bolts? Period though.
He did buy them from Kale, just plain old bolts though.
Okay. And with
Very
a
nice
plus
of
12
you.
on Godric, you would think that 99 regular bolts would be more than enough, right?
Here's the thing about the spread crossbow. From my experience, it eats through bolts like crazy. Like 99 is not going to be enough, unfortunately, unless you're going to do some sort of status effect.
Even with a plus 12 on Godric though? I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, right?
Yeah, we won't know because I have not tested that specifically, but
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned about his bolt count.
Yeah, there's only one way to find out. And we do see Helios rushing DTS here, trying to get the capital access. I'm a bit surprised he's not going for Radon first. But
Interesting.
fair enough, right?
Yep. Get the DTS cleared out of the way.
Because I believe neither of these players have a great rune yet.
No, not yet.
I really do.
all good.
I really do foresee this potentially coming down to the 50-50 sewer mode gold free.
Yeah. Unless this bingo happens, because for all Helios knows, Moody's just killing Radon right now
Yeah.
with a bow.
Oh, and this is a tree, and DTS is a tree boss. My apologies.
Oh, nice. Saved it for last. Very good.
We'll go full screen with Helios here.
I said Knight Kepler because Alex joined my call and asked what the six bosses were. Not because I'm insane. Missed.
Getting smashed, but luckily he had the bubble tier on.
He didn't miss.
Actually, and we're gonna go dual screen because Moody's going in for bow only.
Bow only, ladies and gentlemen. Hype, hype. Best square on the board. Let's get it. Let's see what this spread crossbow can do. Okay, load it up. Fires away. Now, how many bolts did that consume? Can we see?
He's at 79 right now. This is
Yeah,
not gonna be enough.
I'm telling you, it eats
consumes-
bolts. Like,
10 bolts.
yeah. He needs to go get those rot bolts.
Yeah, he's. I don't know if he will. He just quits out. Yeah, we'll go full screen with Helios now.
I'm so used to having R2 on great swords. I never do this with halberds because I know it won't work. Great swords, dude. I like how he like checks, and then he's like, oh yeah, he's hitting me, I'm gonna hit him back.
Ooh, that's a very nice execution here.
The leaders maybe.
Looks like Moody's pivoting just for Radon. I think he's just saying, screw it, I'm going to try to force Helios to do bow only.
It's a good play. He doesn't want to fall behind in squares, so he might as well get that square. It also gives him access to capital, so I'm glad he didn't get hard stuck on that. After play there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I would have assumed... I know that thing eats bolts like crazy, but I would have thought a plus 12 would have been more than enough. And there we go.
Yeah.
There's DTS, and that's the 5th 3 boss for Helios.
Sentinel do
And Helios takes the lead.
Helios takes the lead. He's still got two great runes to acquire.
Yeah. This is going to be tough here.
Wow. But Moody can't do... Well, it's hard to say. Yeah, I mean...
Moody dies doing the skip. It's fine, though. He has the stake. He has the stake.
Yeah, forget the runes. He didn't even have any.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Helios' plan is laid out for him.
That's not a stake skip, guys. He lost time. But regardless, Helios has really snuck back. Like, I feel like Helios took the lead here on square count out of nowhere.
Yeah, I did foresee that happening just because this is where Helios kind of thrives. Is just making a comeback in terms of forgetting the word, but majority squares, just getting squares one after another. Few deaths really did cause that issue for Moody too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, Helios has... I feel like Moody's outplayed Helios bingo-wise very clearly. But what we're seeing is, like, Moody has lost so much time between Ancient Hero of Zamor, Wormface, Grail, Bow Only.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even if you go back, just like, if Moody wins Ancient Hero of Zamor, this is a very different game. Quite simply.
Yeah, 100%.
And now he's actually going to be behind on Radon.
Yeah, another death costing him that time loss, which, like you said in the beginning of the game, seconds matter.
And I don't even think it was the stake skip death necessarily, but the main thing is, like, the time waste on... He would have been home free if not for the time waste with the bow only.
Yeah, you know, just you kind of wish that he understood the value of status effects for bow only. Like, that is the way to do that square.
And we're about to see double... When we're about to see a double Radon on our screen.
Double Radon, we've got the plus 12 balls versus the plus 4 Milos. Which is the better weapon? This will kind of answer the question once and for all. Is Milos any good?
Mm-hmm. And Helios will get the plus 5 here, so I would imagine he will upgrade after Radon.
Yeah.
But he can get that up to plus 6. Also, the other question is, how good is Moody at using balls on Radon? He has bosses with a concave hitbox can be very tricky for iron balls, and Radon classifies as one of those bosses.
Absolutely.
Like, you have to be, like, you can still do it locked on if you want, but you have to be very specific about your timings of when you go for your attacks in order to actually hit the boss. Also, Moody suffering slightly from small red bar syndrome.
Oh, yeah. Still so small. I'm surprised to see that.
Well, he wasted a lot of money upgrading 2 smithing stone weapons to plus 12.
Yeah. I guess that's where all the runes went from Grail.
Majority of them, yeah.
Hmm.
And I think you also had to level Dex slightly to be able to wield the thing.
Yeah. So here's the question. So once Radon's dead, there's still going to be nothing marked on the board until someone marks his Great Rune, which probably might not happen until until capital. Like nothing will be
Yeah.
marked until capital. So does
Yeah.
Moody? Here's what Moody does. Like, does he just commit to his bingo line, get the bingo before Helios can do gold free and sewer mode? Like that's the question right now. Or does he try and race him on that?
I have no idea. And does Helios feel nervous and try to block?
Yeah, that's true too.
But both these players are going to be hard rushing Radahn's Great Rune. It's going to come down to Radahn execution, and then minor pathing.
Yeah, I guess the play is to just go for Radahn's Great Rune no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, if Helios gets Radahn's Great Rune here, Moody's in hell.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
And Helios' fight has been much faster.
Oh boy.
I don't think Moody's super versed against Radahn with balls.
No, I don't think so. He's more of a swordsman. He's doing this fight usually with a katana or some sort of greatsword. Gets the stagger though, and the no riposte.
Helios is +4, and Helios is going to be more than able to tank a shot here if he has to. Granted, I don't think he will.
Wow, what a difference of speed.
Yeah, Moody's Radahn has not even entered phase 2. And he gets tagged there.
If he decided to go for Frost Stomp on the balls, it would have sped things up a lot
yeah,
more.
and Helios' Radahn already dead. We'll go full screen with Moody now as he tries to finish this out.
Oh boy.
Very, very fast and impressive.
Here we go, Moody's second phase.
Also, guys, remember to stay tuned after this match.
Alright,
We have the rematch between Rambler and Ra from the Zoodle Cup, Zoodle Community Tournament, whatever we're going to call it, finals.
A lot of hype on that match. It's going to be hard to top this one, but
Yeah.
before that match starts, it's got hype.
Yeah, coming into it, that's my match of the season. It's my most anticipated match of the season just because of the storyline.
Absolutely.
This one might be the best one of the season, though.
Right, first try, get the fuck in.
Wow, Moody's second phase going a lot quicker and a lot cleaner.
The problem is Helios is rushing this. Like, he's going to need a parkouring incident. Moody is.
Yeah, and you would assume Moody's going to go for the square as well, but optimally he could just go for the second.
He could go back to bow only and then try to rush capital.
Yeah. That would be the play for him.
Yeah, but that's difficult to see.
It is, extremely. See what
And he doesn't see it.
Shit. Yeah, because ideally, Moody could take advantage of this time while Helios gets this square.
Yeah.
He could get another square, making it 12-11, and then he goes and races him to Surmog or Goldfree, making it a 50-50 decision. What is this word, kapluming? I've never heard of this.
Copiuming.
Oh.
They're saying I'm copiuming for Moody. They're saying it's Jover. Which, to be fair, Moody's in a lot of trouble.
He's in trouble here for sure. Yeah. I mean, he's going to see this hopefully before he gets on the elevator. Like, is Helios that far ahead where he could possibly mark the square before Moody's on the elevator? Which would give him...
Probably. Yeah, I think, like, what we've just seen here is, like, Moody was in the driver's seat, but we saw maybe the pressure got to Moody a little bit. And the biggest thing that I've been saying is the difference between the truly elite bingo players and the good bingo players is consistency, right? Like Moody said against, both Wormface and the Grail, he's like, I've done this so many times before, but it's not about how many times you've done it before. It's about, can you do it 100% of the time? And
Yeah.
Helios, you know, has made some mistakes positionally this game, but I mean, there's not a major death that I can even recall. The one death to Zamor, granted, he didn't have to pay the price for that. It was the only
That
one
was
I
so
can
long
seriously
ago.
recall.
Yeah. Yeah, that really is what it comes down to. Moody had a lot of tragic deaths, and if he didn't have those, his square choices wouldn't have been that bad. You know, it just came down to execution, really.
No, yeah, I mean, I think the choice of square was very good. Like
Yeah.
he outplayed him bingo wise. It was
Oh.
the difference was in the execution.
I mean, look at the score. It's 10-11, 1 hour and 41 minutes in, and Moody still has a bingo on the board, or had. So, like, yeah, he had the bingo advantage for sure.
And he's gonna see this restore right now. We'll check in with Moody to see his reaction.
And you're going for one of these two.
Will he get on the elevator?
Motherfucker! Well, it's game over then.
I'm not too pleased about that. He just saw it.
Oh, I missed it. All right, now what? Narrowly escaped the elevator ride. Good shit.
I mean, if you're Helios, obviously first you kill Radon, right? Or first you kill Margit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he hasn't even killed Margit yet. Oh, something. Moody's game.
To our ref, can we please check in with Moody?
Check with Moody and possibly have Helios quit out. That's such a crucial point in the match. You kind of don't want to.
Yeah.
Time advantage.
We'll go full screen with Helios here. He's Googling bolt locations. Yeah, I wish he knew about the bolt tech. I would have had a private lesson. I would have given him a private lesson for the bow only square.
That's a secret.
That's still on the table. If anyone's interested, I can give you a private lesson.
Okay, yeah. Moody's back in the game. I think he was just Googling bolt locations, like Satari said.
Where to find the best bolts, poison arrows.
Yeah, the bow only square is definitely not an ideal one. I'll say that.
Not ideal, but if you have to do it, it actually is kind of fun.
Yeah, you need to know how to do it. Like, you really do. Like, you need to know where to get status effect items. You need to know what bows are usable for that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What would have been interesting is if you killed Radon with the bow earlier on. That would have been an insane play. Of course, it's unrealistic, but think about the possibilities.
Yeah, like Sean just said in chat, like you typically want something with either mighty shot or status effect arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the crossbow play would have been good if he had the status. I'll say it again, but you know, he kind of mix-matched his strategies there.
Yeah, I mean, he gets another set of 100 bolts. He gets meteor bolts. Even so, I think without status, honestly, the repeater crossbow or whatever is quite horrible.
Yeah,
now,
terrible.
The one thing too is Moody's DTS is still alive. Well, Helios is dead. Moody's gonna try this again. We'll go full screen with Moody.
Here we go, Moody.
Let's see how much damage this does.
I think the damage is doable. He didn't buy more regular bolts though.
Oh boy.
Why does it let me hold that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a powerful hit, but once again, it consumes so many bolts.
Yeah. Oh, and actually Helios is going to go for... Is he just upgrading his weapon, or is he potentially thinking bow only as well? He's going for Twin Maidens.
Yeah, he's going Maidens.
Am I going to, like, run out of bolts again? I actually can't tell.
Okay.
Moody, I think, is going to run out of bolts.
I think I still don't have enough.
Helios has no interest in going to capital. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have enough bolts. Dude, this
Wants to end it on a
sucks.
fun one, I guess.
Crossbows
also-
are so shit.
Let's see what Helios gets here from the bow check. Moody could really be kicking himself here if this is a good bow.
Okay, what do we
Yeah.
got? Crossbow, bow, great bow.
Find out. It's as easy as one stone sword key check. It's so easy.
Full moon crossbow. What do you need for this?
Is it a crossbow?
14 int.
Ooh. I think that's possibly the worst crossbow in the game.
Great.
But it's not,
Bow.
doesn't consume a ton of arrows.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess I could just get the int
I guess
tier,
I'm not.
but-
I feel like there's something weird going on with that crossbow though. I think it like adds.
I don't
some
think the
sort of weird-
damage output is great.
Not great, but does it even shoot? Like, does it even shoot like status affecting bolts? Is my question.
Let me confirm.
Half moon. Is it the half moon crossbow?
Full moon.
Full moon. Moody doing more research, trying to find the mood, as Shaka would say, trying to set the mood. He had the mood set early in the game. It was chill. It was very ambient. It was beautiful. But Helios,
Yeah, it seems pretty
Interrupting that.
standard. It doesn't. There doesn't
Okay.
seem to be anything special about it.
okay,
Helios selling the spirit glaive.
Spirit Glaive, Golden Halberd,
Satari crying.
Oil Shield,
Well, he's hopefully.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Moody just didn't know the bow check. Like, he just didn't know the bow checks.
You didn't know the square.
Like, if he just got the raw arrows, or I think the full moon crossbow is better than this thing, just because that bow shoots 10 arrows at once. Like, if you think about it, he's doing somewhere between 30 to 40, like, he's shooting 10 arrows to get somewhere between 300 and 400 damage. So that's only 30 to 40 damage per arrow at a plus 12. Like, the burst damage is good, but it's horrible economics.
Terrible, yeah. Well, thank you for the breakdown. And I think part of that, not knowing the square is on Moody, but not knowing that weapon specifically is kind of just Moody's inexperience with the DLC.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable too. I would have thought the same thing. I would have thought like, I have a plus 12 crossbow. I'm probably good to go, right?
Yeah, I know, Rambler. I mean, that is the meta, and we didn't see it come into play today, unfortunately.
Moody is going to try to kill DTS here to give himself a last-ditch effort. This could, if Moody can somehow kill DTS. Wait. The problem is also 10 minutes. Timer.
10 minutes.
Timer may very well come into play, because you would think, like, well, if Moody could somehow kill DTS and say Goldfree, kill DTS, snipe bow only, and then kill Goldfree in enough time,
Yeah,
I don't know if that's doable in 10 minutes.
it's asking a lot. I mean, that's Xeno
Yeah.
type gameplay there at that point. I mean, I don't even think Sewer Mode and Goldfree. I think like bow only is a long square, but is Goldfree or Sewer Mode longer? Like, which is the longest of the three?
I think
Probably-
Goldfree's faster.
I think he's the fastest. I think Sewer Mode and Remembrance Bow is probably tied, possibly Sewer Mode being longer, just because he
Yeah.
takes no status damage and you have to get to
But
him.
if you're Moody, you have to win all 3 squares, because even if Moody
Yeah.
wins 2 squares, if Moody wins 2 squares, so we're 12-12 at the 2-hour time limit, we'll go to overtime, or golden square, as some like to call it. So next square would win. So trying to do Goldfree and Sewer Mode really quick would extend the timer, but it would put him so far behind on bow only.
Now,
And
don't
also
want to
we
use that
see
word-
Helios here just deciding screw. Oh, is he going? He's going with the Erdtree Great Bow.
Yeah, if you guys were paying attention, he did go to the merchant in Dragon Barrow and buy the poison snake. What do they call it? The snake arrows or something like that. Serpent arrows.
Yeah.
But yes,
and
we don't really use that word here. Sorry, nothing's impossible.
never tell me the odds. Moody here, about to finish DTS. We'll go full screen with Helios. Well done to Moody. Yeah, you can see the difference here. This is a single shot arrow doing you know, per arrow 3 times as much damage, and the status effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is just game knowledge, which is going to cost Moody.
Who would have known it came out of this square? Happy to see it, but surprised. And Helios is known as an experimenter, a conductor of experiments, a scientist, an Elden Ring scientist. So he likes to make niche plays like this, like interesting and weird things that he can do in the game. He's gonna do it.
Yeah.
So really, an end game in his favor.
Also, guys, unfortunately, due to time, we are going to need to go. We're going to go straight into this next match. So we will get we will get post-game thoughts from both of our players via text, and will let us know their thoughts on the game.
Yeah, unfortunate because it was such an exciting match, but we can't postpone the following match.
The square sucks.
Yep, 2 Godric's on the same screen, but one's just doing it normally, the other.
And this one's for the match. Yeah. So we're saying big screen here.
Yep. I mean, once again, pretty slow going here. I think he upgraded it, right? Or is this a +0?
I think it's +0.
Okay, that's why you're not seeing a lot of yellow damage. But once again, that status effect putting in the work. Yeah, out +0.
Which is also true, but not what I meant.
Yeah, you know, this match could have, like, had Moody picked up the Faith here earlier. You know, he could have used the Faith here, used this bow instead.
Yep.
Unfortunate loss for Moody. He played very well up, you know, but especially bingo wise. But I do think he will be wondering maybe, like, you know, how it all went wrong because he was in such a commanding position. You know, an hour and change in.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to speed run this square, you get the crossbow, you use the rot bolts, and you use the poison shots.
Everything does poison.
That, you know, that strategy works on Godric, and potentially if you do the rot poison on Verdun, that could really.
Imagine he snipes me on the 5 seconds of the dialogue is playing. That would be so funny.
Godric out here looking like Boromir from what's that famous fantasy novel?
Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings, thank you. Ooh, getting flame memed.
I'm skinny, so...
Down to the end here.
It was about to
Now
finish this off.
Looks like
Eventually.
he wasn't able to proc a, I want to say 3rd poison on Godric. I think he must have procced at least 2, but
Yeah, he's
that
close
first
to
one-
the 3rd.
Baller.
yeah.
There it is.
There it is. 72 arrows to spare. Wow. I mean, at this point, he could just run around the arena
Fast timer
and just
for
let Godric die for him.
another game.
excellent game. So many questions I have for the players, but unfortunately we won't have time to talk about it. And hopefully we can, keep this conversation going in the Discord. Boozer, if you want to plug Discord at the moment or something like that.
Yeah, if anyone wants to play bingo, you can join us, play bingo.
So tired.
We have coaches for newcomers and everything. Or if you're an experienced player, you can hop straight in. We'd love to see you. The pinned comment on the stream. GG's to both of our players, and that will do it.
Well done to Helios, legend. And Moody
That
too,
will
man.
do it.
What a game. What a game.
Now, unfortunately, like I said, we will not have time to conduct interviews with our players as we do need to go straight into the next match. Give us one. I'm going to put the Be Right Back screen up for just a second so we can get everything set up. And we're going to go straight in. It'll be about 30 seconds.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, very, very, very good game. Congratulations to both of our players. Also, please make sure you drop both of them a follow. They definitely deserve it. What a match between those two. All right, and we are back, guys. Oh,
I just want to kill Golf. Like, I just died to Golf. That's so ridiculous.
Stocko, I do believe Moody's stream is coming through on your end.
Oh, my apologies.
You're good. You're good. Okay, Ra is now live. We're just going to be waiting on Rambler to go live, and then we can go ahead and get this second match of the day started. The rematch between Rambler and Ra from the Zoodle Community Tournament Finals.
Oh, yeah. Very exciting stuff.
Stocko, can you give us a little bit of an intro into this next match? Set the stage for us, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Both players come into this match 1-1, meaning they both have won their first game. Rambler's first game was up against Durf, had a few hiccups, a few uncharacteristic deaths, and Rambler in the end able to clutch it out due to Durf's kind of fumble of the end of the game there. Meanwhile, Raw winning his first game against me, Stocko, showed off. He had an excellent demonstration of a smithing stone, started things off with the Great Stars weapon, which is a great hammer, and didn't even have to worry about weapon checks. Started off with an excellent weapon, made quick work of bosses such as Omen Killer and some others. Oh, you even got to see him kill O'Neill without using the torrent cheese, which was pretty awesome to see. You don't see that very often. So Raw, very strong player, and Rambler, a very strong player. This is going to be very interesting. I think Rambler has some doubts in his head about, his opponent and how and what the board is going to look like. Actually had an interview with Rambler this morning. We talked a little bit about what kind of board he wants to see, and again, he wants to see a game or a board that is just endgame, giving him time to set up and cook something nasty up. If it's a game full of rush squares, that's not his strong suit. It's probably something that he might lose to a player like Raw. So hopefully, we'll see, a little bit of a mix of both. I mean, I don't favor a certain player because I try to be unbiased here, but what we want to see is a good bingo match. So it's all up to the board and what the players do with it. So we'll have to see.
And again, the storyline here is the biggest thing for me. There's massive implications here. First off, because of the history, right? So these two met in their first, official bingo tournament. It was an event hosted by Zoodle for his community. These two met in the finals. It was a game where Rambler was up and Ra managed to come back with Valiant Gargs at the very end. I believe that game ended 13-12. That's the history. Let's talk about the now, right? Rambler and Ra, both 1-0, both of which are going to want to be setting themselves apart from each other, not only getting the win, also getting the tiebreak over the other player. And we've seen how strong Alex has been early on in the season. And whoever wins this match is going to cement themselves as the challenger, right, to Ra. Granted, Ra has not been tested nearly as much. Like, Ra has not played Rambler, Alex has not played Rambler or Ra. Alex has definitely been tested. He's played great players, but it's going to be the test between, the two top players, like who's going to win, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is either player's moment to shine.
And it should be a fantastic match. Because again, even if you're not going to get the 1 seed, right? Even if you're not going to get the bye, having the 2 seed means that you play the 3 seed from the opposite division in the first round rather than the 2 seed. So, the way it's looking early, it could be the difference, granted it's pick your poison in the other division. With how many strong players there are. I mean, hell, somehow Moody's 0-2 in that division, given how strong he just played. But yeah, obviously, give you a slightly more favorable matchup in the first round. Of course, you want that.
Both players are indeed ready to rock when you are ready.
Okay, both players are ready. I believe we are ready. We'll get it started here in just a second. Staka, once again, let's get a prediction for the center square, and also, actually, really quick, we need to get the Gamba up.
Let's see. I think, I'm trying to be unbiased, but I want an exciting center square. I want something that both players have to work towards. You really have to earn lists. So let's see something that's not rushable. Let's see something like, dare I say, Valiant Gargoyles. Center square. How interesting would that be? Is the hype really real?
Also, chat, you're going to have 5 minutes to get your corn in. Let's get the Gambas in for this massive matchup. Let's go ahead and get this thing started, baby.
Valiant Gargs, here we go. Somewhere on the board. Somewhere. If not center square, somewhere.